Hey guys, this is Matti for week 3 of my progress in the Coaching for Profits program. This week, sadly enough, I didn't make any profit. The start of the week was pretty bad. After I went on a last minute trip for New Year's, it seemed like I forgot pretty much everything. I started tilting again. It was pretty bad. Anyway, I will be talking over my graphs in a little bit, and somebody on one of my blogs suggested that I talked over some hands in this video as well, which I thought was a pretty neat idea. So I've prepared like 5 hands, I think, in which I will explain some things. All right, so let's get right into it. Let's go over the graph. The first 2 days I was playing on bwin. It's a party poker affiliate, I think. And at the beginning I was playing pretty well. I remembered everything, but I had the feeling that some regs on bwin, since they don't have a really big player base, especially on NL2, I have like 4 to 5k hands on different people in bwin, so I had a feeling they started to realize how I played, which was pretty annoying because of our wide button raising ranges. These regs started to always 3-bet my button and cutoff opens, and every time I got a good hand, they always folded to my raises. I don't know if it was because it was a small sample, but they played differently than at the start when I was playing them, so I'm not sure. But when this happened, like right here, I was getting a lot of bad luck here as well, though. I was getting set over set, 2 pair over 2 pair. But this was bad, so like right here I was getting pretty mad, and I decided to go back to stars, see if it was any different. So when we go to stars here, the first day after that $16 loss in 2 days, just went up to like 14 here on stars, or like 12. No, this was one day when I went to like plus 12, plus 11. I see plus 10, 11. So that was pretty good. Then I started getting owned again. And right here on day 3, 2 and 3, I think, I started fucking forgetting everything I knew. I started just clicking buttons. I don't know what was happening. I just wasn't thinking about anything. It was disgusting, really. When I was looking over my hands, I saw a few and I was like, man, what the hell are you doing here? Holy shit, just think about them for a little bit. But yeah, I didn't. And then the last day, I think this was the last day, this was yesterday, I kind of redeemed. Yeah, I started from over here, I went to over here. It was a plus 11 day, I think. I redeemed myself there. I was playing a lot better, only made a few mistakes here and there. But I was pretty happy about my play yesterday. So let's hope we can keep up that trend for next week as well. What else? Yeah, I don't have anything else to say about this graph, really. It just made a little loss this month already, but it's nothing too major. We can still we can still come back from it as long as I keep playing like I did yesterday. Because I'm going to show at least like 1 or 2 hands from this downward spiral over here, where you're gonna say like, what the hell is this guy doing, man? All right, so let's get into the hands then. Low. All right, let's do it that way in. Okay, so in this hand I get a ace 4 suited in the MP, so I raise it up. This guy was, well, we only have 3 hands, but as you can see, it was pretty crazy, and he got lucky on a hand before as well. So he calls, and we flop 2 pair. There's a flush draw out there as well. So I of course make a continuation bet here because yeah, we flop 2 pair. This guy calls. I'm thinking, what does he call me with here? Does he have an ace or something? Or well, I don't know. He could even have a 9 or whatever. So, and then the deuce of hearts comes off. I make another big bet on the turn because we have 2 pair. And he just calls again, so I think maybe he has a flush draw here or something. Now the 6 of hearts pops out. We make another bet. And he raises me. Like right here, this should ring an alarm bell. But I was thinking, what 2 hearts would you call me with on the flop here? Like, does he have 9 something of hearts? Or, like, he doesn't have the ace because the ace is out there, so... I was so confused here. I thought this is a crazy guy, so I'm gonna look what he has here. I'm gonna make the call. What does he show up with? He shows up with Queen 10 of hearts. Yeah, NL2 I guess. So I don't know why you would ever call this flop with Queen 10 of hearts, but yeah, I guess that was a bad call on the river there. Yeah, anyways, that was hand number 1. Let's go to hand number 2. What's happening here? Oh yes, this is a hand where I was the fucking biggest retard ever. When I looked over my hands, I was thinking like, what am I doing here? So okay, the under the gun raises. We call in middle position with ace king off, and another guy calls. We flop top pair. This guy makes a big continuation bet, so I'm unsure what he has here. Maybe ace jack or flush draw or something. Anyway, we have to call here once we have top pair top kicker, so he folds. Now he checks when the flush comes out, so I take over the betting since I have top pair top kicker and a flush draw, and he calls. So this should ring an alarm bell because most NL2 players, like when the flush comes, they're like, ooh, can I get value here? So they check. And then he almost bet spot, and here is where I go into fucking clicking buttons and I just call, which is so dumb. I have no idea what I was doing here. I never beat any value hands here, so that call was so dumb. And of course he turns up with the flush. And that was a stupid ass spot. I should have never called the river here. But anyway, mistakes are there to learn out of. So that was pretty costly mistake here. But at least I learned about it like the next day. But I have no idea what I was doing here. That was so dumb. Right. So hand number 3, we have ace king again. We raise it up in the MP. The button re-raises me. Oh, this guy's, well, you cannot see the stats here. I see on the video, but oh, when I go over them, you can see them. Right, so he's playing 26 hands. He's playing 96 VPIP and a 36 pre-flop raise with a 3-bet of 29%. So. And a small 3-bet, like, alright, so since the third person calls, that's just dead money out there, so I decide to raise it up again, since we have ace king and we have a crazy man here. Now he re-raises me again, so I'm like, this guy's doing this with bullshit, so I re-raise him all in, and he makes the call for $3. That's a bad flop for our hand, you would think. That's a bad turn card for our hand, you would think. And that's another bad river card for our hand again. Now what did he show up with? Queen 10 off, so that's a pretty nice pot for us. This is just NL2 things again, I guess. Anyway, pretty nice of the villain to toss us 150 big blinds there. Right, so that was just a hand to show how some people act in these limits. It's pretty crazy. Right, so we have another one here. Oh yeah, this is a difficult spot. We call in the we raise a cutoff. Small blind calls. We flop bottom set. There's a flush draw out there, so he checks. I bet 3/4, and he just calls. Now this completes the straight, and he bets out. There's 2 flush draws out there, and there is a straight possible. Do we ever fold or just call a set of 4s here? I'm not sure. I think he could show up with any ace x, like ace king or something here as well. So I decided to raise him here on the turn, and he re-raises me all in. So this spot is where I'm unsure about, but I don't think, well, we have a set and there's 2 flush draws out there and an ace. I don't think we can ever fold here. Well, that's my opinion anyway. But if anyone else has an opinion about this one, I would love to hear it, because yeah, I'm starting out, so I'm not sure. But so I made call. The king, the 4 straight coming out there. It's pretty annoying, but it wouldn't have mattered because he already had the straight. And we lose a hand. But anyway, we have a set, and against the straight we still have a lot of outs. We still have the ace, the jack, the 10, the 4. So I think it's an okay call to make here with a set of 4s. Yeah, that's about it. Money goes to the villain, of course. Really, I'm unsure about this one when I thought about it, but I think I played this one okay. Anyway, on to the next one. I think this is the last hand. Oh yeah, yeah, this is the last one. I'll show you the villain stats here first. This is the villain we're gonna play against. He has 96. Wait. He has 24 hands, 96 PPIP, 74 pre-flop raise, and 20% 3-bet. He always opened pots with like 70-cent bets or something, or like $1 bets, or it was crazy. He also hit 2 pair hands with 6-3, 9-5 or whatever, or he trips against people with big pairs, and he won like the last 2 big hands. So I raised the 9s here, and he does his same thing again, and I'm like, screw it, man, I'm tired of your shit. You're doing this with low cards anyway. So I decided to just bomb him with the all in there. And what does he do? Oh, he calls. This seems like a pretty neat flop for 9s, unless he has Jack X, but he never has a pair here either. Now this card is pretty annoying, you'll see in a second, and the other Jack comes off. Now what did he do this with? 7-4. So yeah, we lost the 80-20 there. That was pretty obnoxious. Well, what can you do? I was getting fed up with this guy and these 24 hands. There was no poker being played here, so I thought I'm just gonna get my 9s in here, which turned out to be good, but it wasn't according to our rules. But I got a bit angry with this guy and decided to do it, and he lucked out on the double 4 here. So what can you do? Not much, I guess. Right, so those were the hands that I was going to talk about for this week. Anyway, right. So my plans for next week. I need to get a decent schedule in, because I'm a bit of a lazy person in the morning. I'm way more productive between 6 p.m. and midnight than I am between anything in the morning and between noon. So I like to stay in bed, like when my alarm clock goes, I like to stay in bed for like an hour or something as well, which is really bad. I need to get out of that habit really soon. So I'm gonna make a schedule this week, um, and I'm gonna work on alarm clock goes off, get out of bed, and start doing things because that hour is just a waste. So that's one of the big things I want to work on this week. And the other thing is keep thinking about hands. Like when you saw with the ace king hands where I was just clicking buttons, that was so stupid. And I like that I make those mistakes because that's when something clicks in my head, and that's when I start to really think about stuff. Because at the start, when I was on stars and I got to like $14 profit, I was like, hey, this is easy here. I'm not getting exploited anymore. Yeah, that's bullshit, man. Just makes silly mistakes afterwards. So I need to work on never being too cocky and just keep thinking about stuff, and then it'll be fine. So that's what I'm gonna work on for next week. And if anyone has any remarks about any of the hands or something else, please do share. I like any feedback from anyone. So maybe if you would have a discussion about it or something, that would be great. Anyway, that's it for this week. Gonna get back to studying and playing now. So thank you for watching, and see you guys next week. Peace.